What's a pirate without his greatest enemy? Or maybe, his greatest ally? It's funny, isn't it, how sometimes the person you can't stand is also the person you can't do without. And when it comes to Jack Sparrow, well, you know exactly who I'm talking about. For years now, fans all over the world have been waiting, holding on to a little hope, that someday we'd see Johnny Depp swagger back onto the big screen in full Jack Sparrow glory. And now, after everything that's happened, it seems like it might finally happen. The whispers, the little leaks here and there, they all say Disney's thinking about bringing him back for Pirates of the Caribbean 6. And honestly, doesn't that just feel right? I mean, how can you even make another Pirates movie without Jack Sparrow? He is the franchise. But here's where it gets interesting. Because if Jack comes back, and he should, then there's someone else who absolutely, positively needs to come back too. Someone who's just as much a part of this story as Jack himself. Someone who balanced him, who challenged him, who gave us some of the most unforgettable moments in the entire series. Hector Barbossa. Oh yes, you heard me. Barbossa. The name alone brings a smile, doesn't it? Maybe even a little shiver down your spine, depending on which movie you think of first. Because let's be honest, there's just no replacing him. Now, let me take you back for a minute, because it's easy to forget just how groundbreaking all of this was when it first began. It's 2003. The very idea of making a movie based on a theme park ride sounds a little silly. People weren't sure it would even work. But then the lights dimmed, the ocean waves rolled across the screen, and this wild, unpredictable, hilarious pirate stumbled into our lives. Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow wasn't like anything anyone had ever seen before. He wasn't heroic, at least not in the usual way. He wasn't exactly brave, or strong, or even honest. But he was clever. Charming. Impossible to take your eyes off of. And yet, as brilliant as Jack was, he wasn't complete on his own. You see, every great hero, and yes, Jack is a kind of hero, isn't he? Needs a great villain. Someone who can match him beat for beat. Someone who can frustrate him, outwit him, force him to think on his feet. Someone who can make him better, even when they're trying to destroy each other. And in The Curse of the Black Pearl, that someone was Hector Barbossa. Barbossa wasn't just a bad guy. Oh no, he was so much more than that. He was clever. Ruthless. Darkly funny in his own way. He was everything Jack was, but twisted. Where Jack was chaos, Barbossa was order. Where Jack was all instinct and charm, Barbossa was cold calculation. And yet somehow, they both wanted the same thing, the Black Pearl. That ship wasn't just wood and sails. It was freedom. Power. Identity. And both of them would stop at nothing to have it. That's what made their rivalry so fascinating. You never really knew what was going to happen when those two were in a room together. Every word was a game. Every move was a gamble. And oh, how we loved watching it all play out. And then came that shocking twist. Remember? When Barbossa was killed at the end of the first movie? Shot down in his final moment of triumph. He was cursed, he thought he was immortal, and then, just like that, it was over. At least, that's what we thought. Fast forward to Dead Man's Chest. For the entire movie, you're watching Jack face all kinds of danger, sea monsters, angry crews, the terrifying Davy Jones, and then, just when things look their darkest, who walks back in? Barbossa. Alive. Smirking. Eating an apple like nothing had happened. That moment got cheers in theaters all over the world. People couldn't believe it. Because here's the thing. We didn't even realize how much we missed him until he was standing right there in front of us again. And that was the beginning of something even better. Because after that, their rivalry started to change. Sure, they still fought. They still schemed against each other. But now, they needed each other. They were on the same side, more or less. And it was hilarious to watch. These two pirates who couldn't stand each other, forced to work together, constantly trying to outwit each other while pretending to be allies. By at world's end, it was clear. Jack and Barbossa weren't just enemies anymore. They were something else. Rivals, yes. Partners, sometimes. Maybe even, friends. In their own strange way. You could see it in the way they talked to each other. The way they bickered, like an old married couple who secretly cared about each other more than they'd ever admit. And that's what made Dead Men Tell No Tales so heartbreaking. Because Barbossa, the man who would do anything to survive, the man who would betray anyone if it meant staying alive, sacrificed himself. For his daughter. For his crew. It was beautiful. And it hurt. But here's the thing. This is Pirates of the Caribbean. And if there's one thing we've learned from these movies, it's this: death doesn't always stick. So could Barbossa really be gone? Or is he out there somewhere, waiting for his moment to sail back into Jack's life and turn everything upside down again? I know what I believe. And here's why it matters so much. Jack and Barbossa are two sides of the same coin. Geoffrey Rush himself said it best: Barbossa and Jack are two sides of the same coin. Both are survivors. Both are schemers. But they do it in completely different ways. Without each other, neither one feels quite complete. That's the magic of their story. You take away Barbossa, and Jack loses some of his spark. You take away Jack, and Barbossa loses his purpose. Together, they're unstoppable. And that's why so many fans, myself included, are saying, if you bring back Jack Sparrow, bring back Barbossa too. The high seas just aren't the same without him. And here's something even longtime fans might not know. Originally, Barbossa was never supposed to come back after the first movie. Seriously. Geoffrey Rush himself thought he was done. But test audiences loved him so much that Disney rewrote the ending of Dead Man's Chest just to bring him back. That's how much of an impact he made. It's kind of a life lesson, don't you think? Sometimes the people you think are your biggest enemies are actually the ones who bring out the best in you. Jack and Barbossa showed us that. Over and over again. Their story is proof that even when two people are completely different, maybe even because they're completely different, they can push each other to be better. And maybe that's the real treasure here. So now, Disney, if you're listening. And we hope you are, hear us loud and clear. If you're bringing back Jack Sparrow, bring back Hector Barbossa too. Because the greatest legends always come in pairs. And now, I want to hear from you. What was your favorite Barbossa moment? Was it that shocking return in Dead Man's Chest? His constant bickering with Jack in At World's End? Or his heartbreaking sacrifice in Dead Men Tell No Tales? Drop your answer down in the comments below. I can't wait to read what you think. And if you're hungry for more Pirates trivia, don't forget to check out my other video, the one where we break down Jack Sparrow's wildest, most outrageous improvised moments. Some of them were completely unplanned, and yet they became iconic. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one. If you enjoyed this little trip back through the high seas, please do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss an update. It really does help keep this channel going, and it means the world to me. Thanks for sticking around. And remember, not all treasure is silver and gold. See you next time, matey.